WBISLP 106.9 FM, Winterville, Ayton, Grifton, Southside Greenville, North Carolina. Outside the listening area, tune in on WBISAwesomeRadio.org.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Police Report, First Responders Show here at Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM. I am joined by Sergeant Lee Darnell and Muhammad Enab, who will be doing cybersecurity. Also, for the first time, representing Winterville Police Department is Sergeant Hamilton, who will introduce himself at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate the opportunity to come on the radio today. I am Sergeant Hamilton of the Winterville Police Department. The patrol sergeant out there. I've been there for about 10 years. Been in the area, grew up east coast of North Carolina, Little Washington. Got a master's degree in criminal justice, currently working on my doctorate as well from Liberty University. Proud veteran, retired years and 6 months from the North Carolina Army National Guard. So I appreciate the opportunity to get on here and talk to your listeners.
Thank you so much, Sarge. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than our most favorite person in the world, Sergeant Lee Darnell. And Sergeant Darnell, I hate to begin with a little bad news, but I know there was some employees that recently transitioned from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office. If you don't mind speaking on that, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is sad, but that's the way it goes when you're a close family sometimes, and it hurts. We've lost two very quickly. One of them he was known as Puddin'. That's all I've called him my whole life. Leon Boyd, he was a telecommunicator for the sheriff's office for a long time. Was a volunteer firefighter in the county, a really good man. And J.B. Heath, who had retired from the highway patrol as a sergeant, and he came to us where he stayed for a number of years as a court deputy. Another good, outstanding man. We lost two, and a bad time of the year for that to happen too.
And I just want to say, on behalf of myself and Awesome Radio, we share our condolences with the family members and the Pitt County Sheriff's Office on your loss. Our heart grieves with you. So, unfortunately, sometimes it happens, but they're in a better place now, and they shall die no more. Sergeant Hamilton, do you have anything to add on that, sir?
No, it's always a hard time when you lose people in your workforce. But with law enforcement, it's a tight-knit community. So it really acts as a family. Everybody gets together. Everybody's taking care of each other, and it gets really close. So it hits hard, especially in the law enforcement community. So our condolences from the Winterville Police Department go out to the Sheriff's Office. And Sergeant Darnell, anything that y'all need, give us a holler, and we'll help y'all out.
Absolutely. And with 16 minutes ago on this particular segment, I'm going to begin with holiday safety and holiday package concerns, because I know Sergeant Darnell has some things to share with the residents of Winterville, and so does Sergeant Darnell from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office. And I'm glad Sergeant Darnell chose to join with us today, as he always does, because I have some documents in front of me from the news media. And when the news media put out information, they always have a disclaimer at the bottom, not to be shared or rebroadcast. So, in light of that, that's why I'm pleased to have Sergeant Darnell on. He can discuss it for himself, and we won't be in violation of their disclaimer. Is that correct, Sarge?
Sounds good to me, my friend.
All right, so I'll begin with Sergeant Hamilton, because we were just talking before we went live, and the package concerns have minimized in the Winterville area. So, Sergeant Hamilton, would you mind collaborating on that, please, sir?
Yep. So when it comes down to Christmas time, especially, there's a lot of packages being. Amazon's huge, and we do a lot of our shopping now online. We don't go to Walmart anymore. Now a lot of people go to Target. They'd rather do it easy, get online, do their shopping, have it delivered to the house. With that comes added risk of people intercepting those packages, picking those packages off the porch. What we've done in Winterville, and Sheriff's Office has been putting out some information as well, trying to educate the public on ways they can mitigate the chance of loss of packages or theft is going on. We've increased our patrols in the area, so the citizens of Winterville see marked police cars going through the neighborhoods constantly during this time especially. But we've asked them to plan some deliveries to minimize the exposure, plan your delivery times around when you're going to be home, if that's possible. Sometimes it's not possible. We've had an increase of personal vehicles being used through Amazon. It's new to me this year, but they're contracting stuff out, so they're coming at odd times. Amazon offers security options of using different electronic features of being able to put it inside your garage door or key codes for your back door if you have access to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Home security measures, doorbell cameras, front cameras, blink cameras, stuff like that are great deterrents. And also work with neighbors or friends in the neighborhood. If you know that a package coming in and you're not going to be able to be there, say, hey, do you mind stepping over to my house and grabbing this package for us?
I'm glad you mentioned that because, like you said, some of the places are contracting stuff out, and we have a caller calling in. Caller, you are live on the air on the Police Report First Responder Show. This is Awesome Radio. You have a question or comment? Okay, I think that was a robocall. Sorry about that. So anyway, I was saying that I noticed, like in my neighborhood in Winterville, I've seen, of course, Amazon Prime, because like you said, a lot of people order online because if they use Amazon Prime, they're not going to have the package in a day or two.
Right.
But along with that, I have seen delivery people in personal vehicles. They might just have a sign on it that says Amazon or whatever company they're representing.
Right.
So you might not see somebody in a UPS truck, FedEx truck, that might be in a personal vehicle, but it might have some kind of identification feature on it.
Right. And they've been coming 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night sometimes.
Yeah.
You end up with an individual who's got a vest on in a personal vehicle, and to most people, that is suspicious behavior. What we're doing is we're asking people, don't just write that off. If you think it's suspicious, go ahead and report it. We don't mind at this time getting calls and going out and checking on stuff. I'd rather check on somebody in your neighborhood than to not get the call and that somebody be stealing packages.
And I saw a lady post a package that was delivered, supposed to have been delivered to her residence. Instead, it went 3 blocks away to somebody else's residence, and she posted on the Nextdoor app.
Right.
I'm on the Nextdoor app constantly. Another incident was recently a lady posted, did anybody else hear the gunshots that was fired in my neighborhood? And I replied, you should contact the sheriff's office immediately.
Right. And we try to monitor some of those apps as well. I'm on several community apps, HOA Facebook pages and stuff like that, Nextdoor apps. So if we try to check and see if some of those messages come through, if we see it, we'll definitely go in a neighborhood and check stuff out. But it's best just go ahead and give us a call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not bothering us. We don't mind it.
And we have 11 minutes and 20 seconds for this particular broadcast, so I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Lee Darnell.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Great points. And, it's wonderful how we all come together to tackle these problems. It's not the Sheriff's Office and Winterville PD and Greenville PD off doing their own thing. We are all one tight-knit group who we work together to accomplish these same goals, no matter what part of the county you're in. And those packages have been a problem in the past. This year, knock on wood, it hasn't been as bad as it has in years past. The biggest thing I would say is if you see something suspicious, say something, just like he said. Give us a call. Call 911. Go to Crime Stoppers and submit a tip if you're too uncomfortable to do it in person. Whatever it takes to let us know. That's how a lot of those people get caught. Somebody sees that car, people being suspicious, and they step up and makes the big difference.
And Sarge, I normally have this information with me, but would you mind sharing the Crime Stoppers number with our listening audience?
Sure. You can actually, if you're viewing this as well as listening, you can see it on the sign behind me. It's 252-758-7777. But you can also go to crimestopper.org or use the P3 Tips phone app and do it anytime from anywhere.
Yeah,
And you remain anonymous and can earn a cash reward. We can all use a little extra cash this time of the year.
And Sarge, I wanted to give out that number because actually, I do see the number behind you, but I couldn't make out if it was 758 or 757. Because I'm so used to saying
758-7777. You get our age, it's a little harder, doesn't it?
And plus, I don't have my glasses on. But if I had my glasses on, I definitely wouldn't be able to see it. Anyway, I want to direct your attention, Sarge. We have 9 minutes to go for this particular segment. And you are the public information officer for the Sheriff's Office. I want to go to the document. Pitt County Sheriff's Office shares holiday travel security tips for your home source. And the source was WITN, December 10.
Right. Well, there's a whole lot of things there. I've had years where I had to leave town over the holidays as well. My wife's originally from out of state, and we used to go up there every year and visit her family before they moved down here. And it's a little scary that time of the year, especially if you're leaving town. So a lot of things we recommend. One, don't go on social media and post everything going on at any given minute, saying, hey, I'm in sunny Orlando, Florida for Christmas. Anybody cruising social media, they're going to see that as a great opportunity. Be careful on those posts. And if you're going to go out of town, whether it's summer vacation or during the holidays, contact the sheriff's office or your local police department about getting a house check. You can go to the sheriff's office webpage and fill out a form under programs, house check, fill out all the information. I'm leaving this date. I'm coming back this date. Here's how to contact me. These are the cars that should be in the driveway. Anything else doesn't belong. And we will send our deputies out there on a regular basis to keep a check on your house to make sure everything looks okay. Give you that extra peace of mind.
That's right. And to that point, I would share with this, not only will the deputies go out, but in addition to the deputies going out, the sheriff's office have the Citizens Patrol Division, which I'm a member of. And I know for a fact that me and my partner, when we did house checks, we pulled in somebody's property. If there was a vehicle in the yard, we would make a note of it on our report and submit that as a part of our report to the sheriff's office, because we don't know if that vehicle was supposed to be there, it was left there intentionally, or if somebody might have been there unintentionally. So I always made a log, the vehicle description, the plate number, so on and so forth. So you're absolutely right, Sarge. Thanks for sharing that. Sergeant Hamilton.
Sergeant Donnell hit the nail on the head on that one. Social media is the big thing. People love posting what they're doing. You can post what you're doing. Do it when you get back. Let everybody see what you're doing when you get back. Because if you post in real time, people know exactly where you're at, what your plans are, when you're going to come back. One thing I would add to that, Winterville does the same thing with a house check. You can give us a call. You can come by, fill out a piece of paper. We'll go by and check your house periodically for the time frame that you're gone. But also be aware of your mail coming to your house.
Yeah.
Packages come to your house. We were talking about packages earlier. Have somebody, a family member, swing by and get the mail out your mailbox, get the mail on your front porch. Because somebody driving by and they see a stack of mail hanging out of a mailbox or mail sitting on the front porch, they know that, hey, this homeowner is not here. This homeowner hasn't been here for a while. So there's little things like that that can help further protect from somebody, unwanted persons trying to get around your property.
Now I'm going to quote Sergeant Darnell on the document I have in front of me, and it's quote, anything you can do to make your home lived in and active to make a criminal question whether it's safe for them to do it is a good idea. end quote, Sergeant Darnell. One other quote,
Right.
there have been a couple of things in the neighborhood that were kind of triggering for us to say, hey, let's go ahead and get the alarm system installed. That was a quote from homeowner Cheryl Cherry. That's from the document courtesy WITN. Anything
And
to add
there,
to that, Sergeant?
there are other things you can do along that same line to make it look lived in. Um, Turn on a light, put them on timers, have different lights come on at different times. And even if they think you're out of town, that will make them wonder if the one certain light is on every evening, but tonight it's a different light that's on. They're going to stop and go, ooh, maybe they're not really out of town. Let's skip on down the street and take somebody else instead. Anything to help protect your house.
That makes me think of Kevin McAllister in Home Alone when the sticky bandits came up there to try to break in the house to start with, and the lights were on. They stopped. The telegram right there. Same thing, same concept.
And I just thought about the one thing. If you have home delivery of your newspaper, if you're going to be out of town, make sure that you have a delivery of your home newspaper temporarily suspended, or have somebody pick it up. Someone will be pulling up at your doorstep. Will you give the criminal element the idea that you're away? So have it temporarily suspended, or have somebody that you know that's reliable pick up your newspaper, so they don't will be pulling up in front of your door. That would give the criminal a chance to say, hey, they're not home. Let's go in there.
Great idea.
Right, correct. So we have 3 minutes to go for this particular segment. We're going to go out to the break after that. We'll be back with a 10-minute talk time. We're going to invite Muhammad Idabin for cybersecurity at that time, and then we'll be back with our final 20 minutes. Sarge, you have anything else for 3 minutes, sir?
Well, for 3 minutes, I can always talk on this. It's a tough time of the year for everyone. So if you're having any struggles out there, depression hits pretty hard. Reach out to somebody. If you're thinking about harming yourself, 988 is the standard emergency suicide helpline. Dial that and get some help. Whatever it takes, take care of yourself, please. And we try to do the same, even though we may or may not be home with our own families. So if you get a moment, a prayer for us would be very much appreciated.
That's right. We have 2 minutes to go before we go to the break. So I'm going to get prepared to go to another document that was the source WCTI Channel 12. That was also the Pitt County Sheriff's Office shares tips to curb rising package thefts during the holiday season. But one thing I know off the bat, if you're having packages delivered and perhaps you consider having your resident red flagged, a red flag with UPS means they could not deliver anything at your home or residence without a signature being required. And if nobody's home, they have to leave it at the UPS facility, and you would, in turn, go to the UPS facility and pick it up. So that's a red flag from UPS. And I know that from personal experience. When I lived in Philadelphia, I had to have my address red flag because they delivered a package to me 5 blocks away from my house. It wasn't delivered to my door. They had the number right, 158. I live at 158 East Meehan Avenue. They delivered to 158 East Sharp Neck Street, which was 5 blocks away. But luckily for me, I called UPS and they told me it was delivered to Sharp Neck Street. I went there, talked to the owner who came to the door, and she had delivered me the box in my hand. Then I contacted UPS. I said, well, my home red flagged. I hope I'm not losing my voice. But you want to pick up on that, Sarge?
Yeah, I was actually unaware that UPS did a red flag. I like that idea. FedEx does the same thing. I know I've used them before. They have their drop locations. I get stuff delivered to Walgreens by the house. If I know that I'm not going to be there, I'll have it dropped off, and it'll stay there for 5 days. I can go in there and pick it up whenever I want to. Or if I'm trying to hide a Christmas package from my wife and I don't want her to pick it up, and I know she's going to be home before me, I'll use a drop location. So excellent idea. Anything that you can do to not have those packages sitting on the front porch, because it's opportunity is what people are looking for.
And I'm glad you touched on me because I think they have another system called Lockbox.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to give UPS credit, but we'll be back in a moment. 107.5 FM, Awesome Radio. Back in a moment.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need. .org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hello to our awesome radio friends and partners. This is Akila speaking here. You can reach us at 252-756-3137. We thank you so much for listening to our awesome radio network of stations. WBISLP Espanol 106.9 FM Winterville. WYLT 100.3 FM Rocky Mount, WECU 1570 AM and 107.5 FM. We are Awesome Radio, where God gets the glory.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Police Report Show, the First Responder Show here on Awesome Radio. 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, Christian media with the spirit of excellence. And we have our 10-minute talk time with Muhammad Enab, who's going to be doing cybersecurity. Muhammad.
Well, yes. On cybersecurity shopping, there's been four types of tricks: phishing scams, fake shopping sites, data breaches, and package delivery scam. How much cyber crimes increased during the holidays shopping seasons? The holiday shopping season is not just a busy time for retailers and customers. It's also the peak period for cybercriminal activity. According to the recent report, cybercrime incidents surged about 30% during the holiday season compared to the other times of year. This spike is fueled by the sheer volume of digital transaction and heightened sense of urgencies among the shoppers eager to secure limited time offers and holiday discounts. One of the primary reasons for this rise of cybercrimes is the behavior of holiday shoppers, with consumers rushing to find the best deals. Cybercriminals often exploit this urgency by deploying fake websites, fraudulent advertisements, and phishing emails that mimics trusted brands. These scams often promise unbelievable discounts and exclusive offers, luring unsuspecting shoppers to provide sensitive information such as credit cards, detail, and personal data. These scammers just do anything to make money. They just don't care who they harm.
Of course, yeah, but Muhammad, I highlighted our area on page 3 of that document. Excuse me, where it says unsecured payment portals. As you know, we have talked about the difference between the HTTP and the HTTPS, because if it's HTTP, you have to take a little caution. But if HTTPS, the S stands for secure. So that's a secure website versus the non-secure website, which might just say HTTP. So use caution if it says that. You guys want to read that part?
Yeah.
Some scams
He's got it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Some scams involves directing shoppers to payment pages that appears legitimate but are actually designed to harvest credit card details, never provide payment details or personal information on a site whose URL begins with HTTP, because it's always verified as URL. It starts but always verify the URL starts with the HTTPS, because that's more secure than the HTTP. So you got to be careful what you do. Remember, if you see the site says HTTP, be careful what you do. But if it says HTTPS, you're all right because it's secure line. In other words, like this one here, HTTPS. No one unexpected can hack it in their way to try to pull a fast one on us, make an edit or anything like that.
Now, this is a call for me to do a little bit more investigating because now I'm trying to figure out why all these internet companies just don't resort to the HTTPS rather than the HTTP. Why is it not automatic? So this caused me to get my investigative tools out. Right, Sarge?
That's it. You would think that some of these websites would automatically switch over, but I mean, that's a big undertaking sometimes with businesses and stuff to switch over. One of the main things, just be vigilant. Be careful what you're doing. Don't give out your personal information. Stay alert to what's going on. If it looks too good to be true around this time, possibly it is. And nobody's immune to this stuff. 2 weeks ago, I wanted a hoodie so bad that I couldn't find it for my kid. And I found it online at Arsenal Jackets. Bought it. It's a fake site. So it even got me. So this is personal on this stuff like that. So it happens to all of us, but it's one of the things where I saw the deal. It wasn't available anywhere else, and I jumped on it. Luckily, it was an $80 jacket and not $1,000 or buying Target gift cards for somebody to send off or Apple cards or stuff like that to pay it and stuff like that. But, so just be careful. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Take a little time. Don't give out your personal information, and protect your identity online is some of the main stuff.
Now, I go to a lot of stores and I do shopping online when need to. I'll give you one instance. As a lot of people know, I'm diabetic. So I have a meter. I have a sensor on my arm. So my meter, I just hold it up to my arm to check my glucose level. But I'm always putting it down somewhere and misplacing it. Just the other day, I was looking for my meter to check my sugar and couldn't remember where I put it. So, of course, I went to a particular company website and saw that manufacturer's meter reader holder that attaches to your belt clip or you can write it around your neck. And I ordered it. It was at my door within 3 days to my benefit. And now I know exactly where it's at.
Right.
So that's one of just good things about online shopping.
Oh yeah, that's something I should say. Everyone, keep an eye on your credit reports because so far I've heard that over 270 million U.S. citizens' social security numbers compromised to the dark web.
That's a good point. Credit report, your bank statements as well. Keep an eye on your bank statements and look out for any unapproved transactions, large transactions, anything, especially this time of year. We got a lot of money going in, a lot of money going out, but be very careful and just pay attention to what's going on with your credit cards and your bank stuff.
Yes. Besides, you might also get robocalls all the time. Even I did. I kept getting it from Texas repeatedly. No one answered, but I always blocked the numbers. And like the one that started, like the one you said earlier, just a robocall you just got. Yeah. That's one of them. Data breaches, hackers and scammers. All we can do is there's nothing we can do to stop it. I mean, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen for our social security number compromised to the dark web. But all you can do is just keep an eye on your financial support stuff, such as your banks or credit card, everything. Because scammers and hackers, well, they may offer you something, but I recommend not to use it because how do we know it wasn't them who caused the data breaches, and why should we pay the price for their mistakes? We're the victims, but we are not the ones who caused it. We are not responsible for their mistakes.
All right, we have 2 minutes to go before we go to the next break. Then we'll be back with our final 20 minutes. So on that end, I was going to share something when Sarge, Hamilton, and Muhammad was mentioning about credit report. I use Credit Karma. Yep. And all the time I get a notification from Credit Karma. There's been a change to your credit report. I'm like, what change? I didn't make no change. Who made the change? Why is this coming through? Because I know I didn't make no change. Or they asked me to verify this credit card. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there was a list of credit cards, like almost 20 of them. Mm. And I have either of them. So I'm like, no, none of these cards belong to me. But the part that got me was, how come you just keep saying there has been a change in your credit report?
Yeah, Credit Karma's an excellent monitoring service. I use it as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what I said to myself before I went and looked? I logged in. I'm like, well, whatever the change is, I hope it's in my favor.
Yeah, I hope it goes up. Hope that credit score goes up at
Yeah,
least.
make it go up, not down. Make it beneficial for me.
Right.
Since somebody reporting all this stuff. One last thing I want to mention about credit reports and credit is a lot of people are under the impression that it stays on your credit report for 7 years. However, that is fictional because it stays on there for 7 years. But after that 7 years, if the creditor wants to put it back on there, then they put it back on there. Then it stays on there for an additional 7 years. That's 14 years altogether, so on and so forth. So don't be fooled by that 7 year premise that they're using. It's 7 years until they put it back on there. So we have 20 seconds to go before we go to the break. Then we'll be back with our final 20 minutes. And I see Sergeant Darnell shaking his head. We're going to get back to him after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the Police Report Show, First Responders Show, here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM. Back in a moment.
Hello, this is Sharice Boyd Jackson, and you're listening to Awesome Radio. Have a safe and blessed Merry Christmas.
This is Viewpoints with Kirby Anderson.
Donald Trump has nominated Dr. Jay Bhattacharya to lead the National Institute of Health. If you're not familiar with him, he's a Stanford University professor of medicine and health research policy. Alicia Finley calls this the revenge of the COVID lockdown skeptics. During the pandemic and lockdowns, Dr. Bhattacharya attempted to inject some common sense into the government's policies. The head of the NIH during that period was Dr. Francis Collins, who referred to the professor as a fringe scientist. Well, Dr. Bhattacharya, along with scientists from Harvard and Oxford, put together what came to be known as the Great Barrington Declaration. The tens of thousands of scientists expressed their grave concerns about the damaging physical and mental health impacts of the prevailing COVID-19 policies. Once it was published, Francis Collins urged a quick and devastating takedown of its premises in an email to Anthony Fauci. In a Washington Post interview, Dr. Collins denounced the declaration as a fringe component of epidemiology and further said it was not mainstream science. Of course, we now know who was wrong. The lockdowns devastated the economy and stunted school children learning for a generation. And social media was all too willing to censor any medical view that contradicted the government's mantra. Twitter blacklisted the professor. Why didn't others speak up? Unfortunately, there was financial incentive to agree with rather than contradict Francis Collins and Anthony Fauci.
No, I haven't
It is
seen
all
that.
too fitting that Donald Trump wants to put Dr. Bhattacharya in charge of the NIH. I'm Kirby Anderson, and that's my point of view.
For a free copy of Kirby's booklet, A Biblical View on Loneliness, go to viewpoints.info/loneliness. That's viewpoints.info/loneliness.
Come, let us adore him, talking about Jesus at the Silver Sisters United Christmas Gathering, hosted by our very own Mother Barbara Mitchell. Guest speaker, Evangelist Julia Rambert. Saturday, December 21st, 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at A Touch of God's Presence Ministries, 1300 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville. This is for ladies ages 65 and older. There will be fun, games, and prize giveaways. And ladies, please wear your favorite Christmas color. Saturday, December 21st, 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. Silver Sisters United Christmas Gathering. 1300 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville, A Touch of God's Presence Ministries. For more information, the number is 252-695-9007. 252-695-9007. A Touch of God's Presence Ministries, 1300 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville. Silver Sisters United Christmas Gathering. Saturday, December 21st, 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. Come, let us adore him, Jesus.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Police Report, First Responder Show, here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM. I'm your host, Dr. Glenn Johnson, joined by Muhammad Enab with cybersecurity, Sergeant Hamilton of the Winterville Police Department, and Sergeant Lee Darnell, Pitt County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer. So without further delay, I'm going to go back to Muhammad, who has one further item to share about cybersecurity, and then Sergeant Hamilton and Sergeant Darnell will finish the rest of the 20 minutes, which will conclude today's broadcast. Muhammad.
Well, a few days ago, nearly a week ago, about a week ago, there's been a scammer who's using a voice cloning technique trying to target people to steal $1 million by impersonating as either Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Elon Musk. The guys got busted, but if you want to know where I found this evidence, go on Trilogy Media. It's on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see what happened, and everything will be seen clear. In other words, you got to be careful. If the guy sounds like Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Elon Musk or someone else, like someone famous, do not buy into it. They could easily just voice clone, impersonate someone that they're not, trying to steal money from you and take advantage of those people with little you have.
And amazingly, you will not believe how many people, particularly comedians, that can impersonate Donald Trump's voice. They do an immaculate job, sound identical, sound just like him. And every time I see somebody do that, I am amazed. I'm like, how do they do that? They got his voice down pat. Would you agree, Sergeant Hamilton?
Well, Shane Gillis is one of them. He's a incredible impersonator of Donald Trump.
Yeah. So, Muhammad, thank you for sharing that. Now,
I do know one thing. They're going federal jail big time. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know.
You're in for it, whoever you are.
But let me ask you, since you just said that. So, is that cloning somebody's voice? Would that be a federal offense?
If you want to impersonate someone like a police officer, it's the same thing. Think about it. Impersonating of yourself, FBI, targeting victims to scam people, that's another federal offense as well. Think about it. Do you really want to go to your jail that long and be really in for what's coming for you? I don't think I want to know I don't know what prison's like, but I don't think I want to know.
Yeah. So the key point is there's the intent behind it. Having fun with something, impersonating somebody. If I get on and try to sound like Sergeant Darnell over there, and we're having a good time about it, there's no crime in that, as long as I'm tasteful in it, and I'm always tasteful, Sergeant Darnell. I mean, but the intent with it. If your intent is to defraud or to gain something from it by illegal means, then yeah, it's a crime there. No, just the key point for the day and all this stuff is just being careful. Be careful with what you're doing. Pay attention to what's going on. If it sounds suspicious, report it. If it looks suspicious, report it.
Oh yeah,
you're not bothering any of us.
Oh yeah, there is something else. One of my friends, she's kind of disabled, but her bank was hacked by some scammer who impersonated as Trump, and her account has been hacked.
Right.
She didn't have much money in it, but that scammer took everything she has. But she go to another bank. She even informed the bank about it, but they didn't do anything. So she went to a different bank to do something.
Well, I can promise your listeners that Donald Trump is not going to call them to get their bank information. So if Donald Trump is calling you to get your personal bank information, I'm 100% sure that is a scam there.
In this economy, I'm not surprised anymore. I mean, there's been a lot of data breaches. A lot of everyone's personal information is leaked. Even mine, I bet.
Right.
We are, let's just say we're in for it. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's a real big problem. And I think that anybody that gets convicted of such a heinous crime should be a felony. And perhaps maybe they should spend life in prison. That's just my personal view. Now, we have 15 minutes remaining for today's broadcast. So I'm going to go over to Sergeant Hamilton because I know there's some more important information for the residents of Winterville and Sergeant Darnell. But Sergeant Darnell, I want to ask you specifically, I have one document that says Sheriffs across North Carolina working to improve the new ICE cooperation law. The source was ABC 11 Eyewitness News. Do you have any information on that, Sarge?
It's still a little bit early. There's quite a bit to be figured out with this. But one of the biggest keys is I've never stopped a car for speeding or anything else and come up and found someone that I would believe may not be an American citizen and ask, are you here legally? I have never asked that. And some people may be scared that we're going to. That's not my concern when I'm having an interaction with you on the side of the road. Or if you call 911 because somebody broke into your house and we come out there to help you, that's not on the back of my mind at all, or the front of my mind. It's nowhere in the vicinity. Now, if you're arrested for something, let's say you're arrested for DWI and you're brought in and it's determined through whatever means at the detention center that you entered the country illegally, under the new law, there would be some ramifications as far as the sheriff being required by law to hold the person if an ICE detainer were to be presented. But again, we're here to serve and to protect. And I've actually had immigrants tell me, I'm afraid to call 911. And they've come to me and said, I know you, can you help me? I'm like, I promise you, it's okay. We're going to take care of you with this. We've got bigger things to worry about than that. We don't enforce the federal law for border control.
Yeah. Now, Sarge, I'm looking at my document, and that acronym ICE, what does it actually stand for? 'Cause I'm looking on the document, and I know it's on here, but I cannot find it.
Immigration Customs Enforcement.
Thank you for clarifying that for me. I know it's on here, but for some reason I can't see it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's hear now from our first-time guest on the police report, sir, from Representative Winterville Police Department, Sergeant Hamilton.
Yep. So, caveat off of what Sergeant Darnell said. When I was working in Roxborough prior to this, Alamance County at the time was doing a big push of deportations. They would come into the county, they would go through the ICE, and they were getting deported immediately. And I saw a decrease in criminal reports from the Hispanic community up there. And we would, if we went to a crime, this third-party caller, there was almost a hesitation to even come out and talk to us. And that's not what we're trying to do. If something's going on, we're not looking to check your papers, your immigration status, to see if you're legal here. We are here for you. So if we get called out, we're here to help you out, to serve you, to protect you, as he said earlier. Same thing with traffic stops. I've seen it recently. I stopped an individual yesterday, and the look that you get at this point in time is almost uncertainty and fear behind the eyes. And I do my best to say, hey, this is why I'm here. I'm Sergeant Hamilton. This is why you're stopped. That's the basis of the stop. We're not out there trying to find people, to separate people, to get people out. And I think that's a fear. It's built off of some things that have gone on in the past. It's built off of an increase in narratives from social media, from the news and stuff. And it's our job to get out there, and as well as y'all on the radio, to say, hey, that's not what's happening. We want to put the positive spin on everything.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, Sarge, because I want to share with you this. A couple of years ago, while in my neighborhood of Winterville, I happened to stop at a local store. There was this group of guys standing outside the store. Their ethnicity, I'm not going to even mention. But somehow we got into conversation, and they were talking about how this police officer is racist, And I stopped. I said, can I talk to you gentlemen for a second? They said, sure, what is it? I said, well, perhaps it's not the police officers racist. Perhaps they might be viewing you and your demeanor. Maybe you should change your demeanor, your decorum, because the way you're talking and the way that you're acting, of course, they can't stop you on the way that you're talking or the way you're acting. But don't you think if you was a little less intimidating, they would treat you a different kind of way? So maybe it's your attitude and your behavior that needs to change. maybe it's not the police officer, just racist. So keep that in mind.
I think that falls on us as well, as law enforcement officers to make sure that we go out of our way, that we explain what's going on. I did a checkpoint last night, and I like giving real life scenarios. 3 cars pull up. First car, odor of marijuana gets pulled to the side. Second car, odor of marijuana gets pulled to the side. Third car, it's clean. Car goes through the intersection. We ended up arresting people out of both the first 2 cars. The immediate thought there was, why did you let that car go? Why does this car go? And the whole narrative of, this is why you stopped me, and this is why, and stuff. And it's those times that I want to take the time to sit down and say, hey, look, this is what we have, this is what we saw, this is why we're stopped. There's no other reason that, and take time to actually talk with individuals and try to educate people. We're not out trying to find a specific person. We're out doing our job. And
absolutely, I agree. And that's why I say, don't you think that if you were in a situation and needed help, the police will help you? Then that's just going to overlook you. They're going to stop and assist and help you.
Yeah, I would hope so, yeah.
Then they're just not going to say, well, I think he's such and such and such, and I'm not helping. I'm getting him a cruiser, and I'm out of here. The police officer is not going to do that, I don't think.
Right. Unfortunately, there's the mindset that is what happens. And that's where it's on us to get out there in the community and help educate and let people know that, hey, we're here for you. We're not here against you. We're here for you.
And that's why I say, yeah, perhaps if you change your mindset, you change your demeanor and change your attitude and change the way that you're speaking to the police. Don't you think they're going to take that situation a little bit more controllable? Because the police officer's job is to control the situation, if I'm right or wrong.
Oh yeah, there's something else. Everyone, if some scammers, you see, this happens last month, but it's gonna happen to everyone else. There's some people that's gonna call you asking you, the government is offering benefits, and ask you if you have benefits. Do not answer. Just block their calls, hang up the call, and block them because they're just trying to scam you. They already scam a few. They already target a few elders so far I've known at work. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I'd be advised to watch out.
Yeah, because you won't believe how many phone calls I received on my cell phone, no less. And I hardly ever give out my cell phone number to companies or organizations. That's why I have a house phone. If you call me on my cell phone and your contact is not on my phone and I see it comes up, there's a call I don't recognize, I just won't answer. Because you won't believe the number of calls I got from somebody claiming to be Medicaid or Medicare. I'm like, Medicare wouldn't call me. They'll send me an email or they'll send a letter to my address. They would not call me at all. So I have no need to talk to you. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
I do have a question for Sergeant Hamilton and Sergeant Darnell. Has there been ever a time a scammer tried to call you guys at the wrong place at the wrong time?
It happens even at the PD. So they fish numbers and just call randomly and just hope that somebody picks up and somebody listens to them. So I've had it called at PD, and we'll have fun with them. We'll talk with them. We'll give them some information. Just try to waste their time, because as long as they're talking to us, they're not calling somebody else. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll mess around with them and stuff, and finally after a while we'll say, hey, look, you called the police department. There's an immediate hang up. But yeah, nobody's immune to it. The robocall blockers have helped. A lot of these phone companies have built-in stuff to help, but yeah, they hit everybody.
But that's a good idea, Sarge. Keep them on the line. That way they won't be calling somebody else. Trying to scam somebody else.
If you want to, just don't mess around and give your information while you're doing that.
I recommend just arrest them while you can, because they might target others.
That's the difficulty in it, because where they're calling from and the IP addresses they're using and route and everything is really hard to figure out, one, who's calling, two, where they're calling from, and they might not be even in the country.
Not to mention, when they text you, they might send you, instead of showing phone number, it shows something else, like an email address maybe. I don't know. It's whatever it was.
Like when I was another cell phone carrier a couple of years ago, and my phone was spoofed. How I found out it was spoofed, I called the company to get me a number to call to the FCC, and the FCC was the one that told me that my phone had been spoofed. somebody was using my number, and they might have been in Eastern Blip for all we knew. They might not have been nowhere near North Carolina.
Where was that?
Eastern Blip. That's somewhere out of the universe. I'm like, Eastern Blip, yeah. Because they were nowhere in North Carolina, but they had my phone, they had my phone number to disguise their phone number. So the actual caller thought I was calling, and it wasn't me.
But one time I got a call or a text, some guy impersonating himself as an FBI.
Yeah.
And he really annoys me. Just a scammer. I told him, stop calling this number.
Right.
Hey, gentlemen, we are down to 4 minutes. I'd like to get Sergeant Darnell back on here for the remaining 4 minutes, if he has anything else to share.
Gosh, I was just enjoying sitting here learning from you guys and enjoying the chat. It's a full house in here today, and that's awesome. Gosh, I don't know what else I can add to it. It's just a busy time of the year. I know personally I'm doing parades every weekend. I think we've got them all done now except for Falkland and Grimes for the year, and had so much fun at every one of them so far. It's a busy time of the year, Doc, and a lot of traffic on the road. Slow down, be careful, wear your seat belts. Accidents are going to happen. I don't want to see you get hurt any time of the year, but especially right here at Christmas. Slow down, don't drink and drive. Be careful, and try to employ as much patience as you can. Just be kind, take the spirit of the season and employ it at work, at home, in the neighborhoods while you're shopping, trying to get that last little toy you need. Whatever it is, go out of your way. And we all need that right now.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you for sharing that, because that brings something else to my mind. Is there a current Booze It or Lose campaign, Booze It or Lose It campaign going on currently?
Absolutely. And we're doing some checkpoints. There will be some saturation patrols in heavy crime areas. So it's not just highways, it's the neighborhoods as well. And we're looking for it. And, you know, I have taken people to jail on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve and had them cry and go, I want to be there for my child in the morning. And, you know, it hurts, but we're going to do what we have to do in order to keep people safe. Please don't drink and drive. Don't make these mistakes.
Sergeant Hamilton, we have 1 minute.
Yeah. So, like Sergeant Darnell said, keep it up with the spirit of the season. Practice grace. Give grace to people. Practice patience. Everybody's wide open. Everybody's going to get on people's nerves. It's how it is. You get family together. There's something's going to happen. You get people shopping in big crowds, something's going to happen. Give grace to everybody you see. Practice extreme patience and just enjoy the season.
And I just want to say to everybody, just enjoy your holiday. Stay safe, stay secure. Keep your packages safe. Take the advice from Sergeant Darnell and Sergeant Hamilton to secure your packages and have a safe and wonderful Christmas. And with that being said, we have 60 seconds remaining. I'll give that to Sergeant Hamilton or Sergeant Darnell, which will conclude today's broadcast.
Sergeant Darnell?
Just, you know, may God bless you all as this year closes out and the next one comes on. I pray that it's a safe and a happy time for you and your family. We're here because we care. That's what law enforcement is here for. Reach out if we can help you. And Merry Christmas.
And to God be the glory. And may everybody stay safe, have a happy and joyous Christmas observance this Wednesday or next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, December 25th. So until then, this has been another broadcast of the Police Report, First Responder Show here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Christian media with the spirit of excellence. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Coach Garrison.
Fun, guys.
Merry Christmas. Family to yours.
Fun, yeah.
You're listening to Awesome Radio.
You should always be nice to your kids because someday they'll choose your nursing home. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. That's an old joke, but there's some truth to it. One way to keep long-term care decisions in your hands is to have insurance. Otherwise, if you ever need long-term care, and studies show about 2/3 of us will, you'll be limited to facilities that accept Medicaid, and they're not always the best. Long-term care insurance seems expensive until you compare it to the cost of